All right, so here we go. Let's hope this one has sound. So the next section is over slope. Hopefully I can get through these ones pretty quickly compared to like the last one as well. So just a reminder, slope measures the steepness of a line and tells me the direction from left to right. So how do you find the slope of a line? If we have an equation, solve for y. So solve for y. So when your equation is written as y equals mx plus b, the slope is whatever m is, and m is that number directly in front of the x. Okay. So if you have a graph, pick 2 points, and then you count rise over run. So remember, rise is up and down, run is left and right. So it's the vertical change over the horizontal change. If you're given a table, find the change in y, so you can count like up, count down, over the change in x. So count up, count down. What do you do to one number to get to the next number? Figure that sort of thing out. If you are given 2 points, use the slope formula, which I absolutely hate, but it's y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And the reason I hate it is because people get the numbers mixed up every single time. So it's very frustrating. So what I'm going to tell you to do is when you're given your points, label them x1, y1, x2, y2. Okay? So refresh. Go back to Algebra 1 for a hot second. If we have 0 over x, where x is some number, okay, our slope is 0. So if we have the same y value. So for some reason I give you 2 points and the y values are the same. We have 0 over x. That is an actual thing. Your slope will be 0, okay? However, if you have a y over 0, like you have the same x's, your slope is undefined. Okay. Back in Algebra 1, you might have seen this video called Slope Dude. It's the worst video in the entire world. I should probably redo it for the poor dude. But types of slope, remember, he's, as my freshmen say, he's puff, puff, positive. And I can almost instantly hear the giggles from you guys. Then negative. And then when we see a horizontal line, we have a slope of 0, so we have y equals a number. And then undefined, if we have a vertical line, so x equals a number. Sorry, couldn't think for a second. Or we can make a little house, or a little face, I'm sorry. So if our line goes up, we have a positive. If our line goes down, we have a negative. If we have a vertical line, it's undefined. And if it's a horizontal line, slopes are 0. Okay? And here are some other ways that Algebra 1 kids remember. Hoy, which, horizontal line, 0 slope is y equals, and then bucks. Vertical line, I don't know why I can't think of anything. Wow. Okay. Vertical line, undefined, and x equals. Okay. Important thing to note this semester, unless I tell you otherwise, undefined slope is the same thing as no slope. So in the textbooks, if you guys had the textbook, you would see no slope as an answer choice. Okay. So find the slope of the line between 2 points. How many of these do I have? Holy Toledo. Okay, let's just go. The slope of the line between the points -2, 1 and 5, -4. Okay, so let me show you how the slope formula works. Okay, this y2 minus y1 stuff. x2 minus x1. So the very first thing I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to label my points. x1, y1. Why is that one x1, y1? Because it's the first one that they give me. Automatically, straight up. First one they give me, that's x1, y1. So we have x2, y2. Plug them in. So y2 is negative 4 minus y1 over x2, 5 minus x1, negative 2. Notice I didn't do anything different. I plugged them in. Okay, now we're going to notice two negatives equal a positive. So negative 4 minus 1 over 5 plus 2. Okay, so we get negative 5 over 3. I can add, okay, negative 5 over 7. Can't simplify it, so that's my slope. Okay, find the slope between the points 3. So I'm just going to go ahead and label these x1, y1, x2, y2. Plug them in. So y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Two negatives equal a positive when they're next to each other, just like that. Negative 3 minus 3. Okay, a lot of people say negative 3 minus 3, it's 0. No, 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 no. Negative 3 minus 3 is a beautiful negative 6. Okay, 1 plus 2 is 3. Under normal circumstances, I would say leave it like that. However, you can simplify to negative 1/2. Okay, looking at this one, we have a x1, y1, x2, y2. So y2, negative 4 minus 2 over negative 3 minus negative 3. So negative 6 over negative 3 plus 3, which is negative 6 over 0, which means we have an undefined slope. Okay? Miss Stark, negative 6 divided by 0 is error. Yeah, it's an error because it's undefined. Okay? Your calculator is just too lazy to type out undefined, so error is shorter. Okay? Find the slope of the line shown to the right. Okay, slope is rise over run. So with that in mind, pick 2 good points, 2 very good points. They're already labeled here for me. Cool. I'm going to draw a triangle. And if some of you are suffering from horrible flashbacks to geometry, I apologize. Okay? But don't worry, we're not going to do the Pythagorean theorem. All we're going to do is count. Rise, we're going to count up. 1, 2, 3. So my rise is 3. My run is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I can't simplify. There's my slope. Okay? So if I count up, it's positive. If I count right, it's positive. If I count backwards at all, so if I have to count to the left, it's negative. If I have to count down, it's also negative. Okay, let's see what examples we got on the back. Oh, it's fine. It's fine. Okay. Find the slope of the line shown to the right. So pick 2 good points. And count your rise over run. Excuse me, guys. I'm sorry. Okay. So this one looks pretty. This one looks pretty. This one, some people would probably pick the origin. It doesn't look like it's directly on the origin, so I'm going to skip it. Okay. So I'm going to connect the dots. Okay, so because the first thing I'm going to do is count down, 2, 3, 4, it's going to be a negative 4. So remember, we have rise over run. Well, I didn't really rise. I went down 4. Run 1, 2, 3. 4/3 is my slope. Okay. The graph below shows the rise in U.S. retail e-commerce sales over a 5-year period, which is approximately linear. It is approximately. Use the graph to find the slope of the line, then interpret the slope as a rate of change. So the easiest thing for us to see, I think, is going to be our x values, because we know that x is always on the bottom, y always goes up and down, okay? So x2, so x1 is where we start, okay? So that means x2 is where we end, so y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So we know we're going to have x2, so 2015 minus 2010. Okay, so to find y2 and y1, we're going to use these values, that one and that one, because it looks like those are the values of like those years. So what is it, 325.2 minus 167.3. So if we simplify that, it's 157.9, 50 minus 5, which is the same thing as, okay, so there's our slope. So what that means is, because I divided it by 5, sales are increasing by, hold on, billions, okay? Sales increased by 31.58 billion per year. Okay? On average, give or take, that's what the slope means. Okay? And the last, like, super duper uber important thing that we get to talk about is this idea of parallel and perpendicular lines. Okay? So parallel lines, okay, never touch or cross. Okay? So they look like this. Okay, railroad tracks. Okay, the symbol for a parallel line looks like a number 11. Okay, so parallel lines have the same slope. Okay, so if I look at these two equations right here, I notice that the number in front of the x, the m value, is both 3. Because it's the same, they are parallel. Okay. On the contrary, perpendicular lines, okay, I don't know why this is all the way over here. That should be like centered or something. That actually upsets me. They cross to form 90-degree right angles, so perpendicular lines look like this. And the symbol for perpendicular lines like an upside down T. And there's like a little 90-degree angle hanging out there. So perpendicular lines have slopes that are negative reciprocals. Okay, so they're opposite signs. Why is my pen not working? There we go. Signs and flip the fraction. Okay, so notice these two, we have 2/3 and negative 2/3. Those are perpendicular, okay? We have positive or negative 3, which is the same thing as negative 3 over 1. So when we flip it to make it perpendicular, it becomes a positive 1/3. Okay, that's how we get perpendicular lines. All right. So question number 7, graph the line that has the x-intercept of negative 3. Okay, x-intercept of negative 3 and y-intercept of 1. So we go up 1 over 3. So it's going to look something like this. Okay. What is the slope of the line? So up 1 over 1, 2, 3 over 3. Okay. So we counted rise over run. What is the slope of a line that is perpendicular? So it's the opposite and flip. Okay, so opposite sign. So if this is positive, this 1/3 is positive. The slope for this one's going to be a negative. Okay, and we flip the fraction. So instead of 1/3, it's 3 over 1, which is the same thing as negative 3. Okay. What is the slope of the line y equals negative 5x plus 2? So using y equals mx plus b, we know that m is the slope. So the slope is negative 5. Okay. What is the slope of the line parallel? Parallel is the same. So negative 5.